It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What's up guys, and welcome to FPL Today, and today we're about to go over my team selection for Game Week 36, but before we do that, let's go over how I've done so far in Game Week 35, and thank you Leicester for making this part of the video so enjoyable for me. We start off with Martinez in goal with his game against Tottenham Hotspur, and unfortunately I was finally an Arsenal fan for once in my life, and Arsenal lost to Spurs 2-1. They went 1-0 up quite early on in the game and conceded very quickly thereafter and ended up losing the game 2-1, but Martinez has kind of been my choice for the rest of this season pretty much, so I accepted the fact that it could be a punt that didn't work, so 3 points isn't too bad. However, in defence we had a lot of disappointments, as Kiko Firmino was the only returning defender in our starting 11 with 5 points. Alexander-Arnold didn't start and came off of the bench just before Liverpool conceded, and then Justin was part of the Leicester side that collapsed against Bournemouth. I was hopeful in this game with two options in this game, wanting and needing those points to climb up the rankings, and unfortunately after Schmeichel kicked the ball into the back of Ndidi, it just all went downhill from there and Sionchu's crazy red card. So defence wasn't the usual supply of points that it has been throughout the season. Moving on to the midfield, we have two players yet to play in midfield in Fernandes and Martial, and I really need some points from them because Salah only got 2 points. Now, he played well in the game against Burnley, but Pope was just on a complete another level in that game and kept Liverpool out, causing Salah to not get any points. At the time I wasn't too disappointed because I hadn't captained him and I was worried that those that had would get a big advantage on me, but right now I think I'll just take the points because De Bruyne also, in the game where Man City scored 5 goals, didn't get any assists. Again, he was unlucky to not get some sort of returns because he was a big part of the game, a big part of why Man City played so well and did have his chances to score and get assists. It just didn't happen for him. Then moving on to the Strikeforce, and we actually played a 3-man frontline for once, and we got 2 returns out of 3 so far, with our third striker still to play in Greenwood. We actually have the postman Jimenez finally returning for me. I waited for that post for a long time, but eventually it reached my door. And then Jamie Vardy, he got the captaincy armband. It was a punt on my behalf because they were against Bournemouth, and Bournemouth have looked pretty poor recently. But it looks like they're starting to fight for their Premier League survival, and they completely dominated Leicester in the second half. To be fair, it came from initially a Kasper Schmeichel mistake, kicking the ball into the back of Ndidi to allow, and then Solanke managed to get onto the end of a long ball over the top from Rico, and he put it away, but after the ball was in the back of the net already, Sionchu decided to kick out at the Bournemouth player that had gone into the net with him to either stop or score the goal, and of course he got a red card, and from then on it was all one-way traffic and Bournemouth got a deserved victory in the end, and their Premier League survival is still possible, when I initially thought Bournemouth were going to be one of the sides to target in the run into the end of this season. But still, at least I got a captaincy return with Vardy bundling the ball over the line in the first half to get me 14 points from him. As far as the bench, nothing really to write home about, apart from the fact that if I'd played Egan, I'd be 6 points to the better, as they managed to get a clean sheet against a Chelsea side that before the game against Sheffield United looked like a good attacking unit, but Sheffield United looked like they're back to their good defensive form, and a clean sheet was there for Egan, which unfortunately I didn't benefit from, even though he was one of my transfers in this week, so I could bring in Jamie Vardy. So far for this week I am on 32 points, leaving me on 2,017 points overall this season. It's 32 because I took a -4, so it's 36 down to 32. We're now at a rank of 234,952nd, which results in another red arrow so far, so I really need something from those Manchester United boys. So before we get into the Game Week 36 team selection, if you are enjoying the video, please consider hitting that like, subscribe and notification bell to stay up to date with FPL Today. And also in the comments down below, let me know how you did in Game Week 35. Did any of you have Antonio or Sterling as your captain? If you did, definitely tell me in the comments down below. And let's get on to my team selection. So this is the team selection at the moment. I'm going to quickly run through it because I'm considering, and very likely to this time, to play my free hit. The team at the moment is Martinez in goal with Liverpool at home. I'm not really expecting much here, but Burnley did manage to keep him out, Pope, and Martinez has looked like a good goalkeeper in the Arsenal net, so I can be hopeful, can't I? And then in defence, we've got Justin, although he might come out now after that performance against Bournemouth. He has Sheffield United at home, Alexander-Arnold has Arsenal away, and Egan has Leicester away. And with the way Leicester played, Egan could stay there because Sheffield United's defence looked pretty good against Chelsea, so I reckon they could potentially keep out Leicester as well. Then in midfield, we have Salah against Arsenal, Man United boys of Martial and Fernandes against Crystal Palace away, De Bruyne against Bournemouth at home, as well as Foden with Bournemouth at home, Greenwood with Crystal Palace away, and Vardy with Sheffield United at home, with Jimenez on the bench with Burnley away, Kiko Firmino with West Ham away, and Lascelles with Tottenham at home also on the bench. Now, the reason I'll quickly run through that, and to be fair, there are some nice fixtures there, but I think it could be a lot better considering Chelsea play Norwich, we have Wolves versus Burnley, we also have Spurs versus Newcastle, and from what I've heard, Spurs looked okay against Arsenal, Everton Villa, Southampton versus Brighton, and the West Ham Watford game. And some of these teams that now have something to really fight for, they kind of have to put a performance in, or at least try to. So some of the players in those games will be appealing to me. So I feel like free hit is ripe to play right now, and because of that, we are introducing something to this video and could become a different series in itself, and we're going to present to you the shortlist. Now, the shortlist is a bunch of players I am looking at to put into my side. It's a bit more than just 2 or 3 suggestions. It's a list of 5 in each position that I'm currently keeping an eye on and considering putting into my side. So we start with the defenders, and I won't go over every single defender purely because these are players I'm considering but not necessarily that I'm suggesting for you guys to bring in, but the ones I'm really keen on I will talk a little bit more about. I am liking the looks of Digne at the moment, 5.8 million at Everton. I know they didn't put in a good performance just gone, but he has had 3 assists with 2 clean sheets and 11 attempted assists at 5.8 million. Could be a decent person to put into your side if you think Everton can still put in a good performance. Azpilicueta, again, before the Sheffield United game, he looked like a good choice with 3 assists, 1 clean sheet and 9 attempted assists. And you'd like to think that Chelsea should be able to keep a clean sheet against Norwich. So those are the 2 that I'm really looking at, but shout out to Van Aanholt, Ritchie, and Fredericks is there because at 4.4 million, West Ham need to now get those points in, and he has had 1 assist, 1 clean sheet and 6 attempted assists, and 4.4 million, he might be worth a punt. Moving on to the midfield, and Antonio is the one that everyone is going to be suggesting in every single video. I don't really need to sell you on the pros of Antonio, but at 6.9 million you're getting those stats, which is pretty epic. Willian and Pulisic are under consideration as well, but I think they're under consideration for everyone. With my free hit and the Norwich game, one of those will be coming in, but to me Willian looks just slightly a better option, and I think his ownership is slightly lower as well, so that's something I will probably take into consideration when I'm making my free hit team. Trossard is someone I'm keeping an eye on. He's a bit of a punt, but I'm not going to sing from the rooftops for him. And Mahrez is someone that I'm considering bringing in for De Bruyne, because at the moment I'm just not getting those Man City points. And if I'm not getting the Man City points, I might as well not get the Man City points with cheaper players. And Mahrez does have 3 goals, 3 assists, 7 shots on target, 5 big chances and 13 attempted assists since the restart of the season. And then finally we move on to the forwards, and Ings of course has had 1 less game than the rest of these players, but he has been in great form with 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 shots on target, 3 big chances and 11 attempted assists. Iheanacho was someone I was considering, but I'm very unlikely to go with Leicester after their recent performance. Jay Rodriguez has been quietly doing amazing things at Bournemouth with 3 goals, 1 assist from 8 shots on target, 1 big chance and 3 goals, that's pretty good, and 2 attempted assists. And then of course there is the more expensive boys of Aubameyang and Jesus, 10.9 million, 9.7 million. The pros of Aubameyang is he's a proven striker in the Premier League, and Jesus is part of a Man City side that are scoring for fun, and he's got 2 goals and 3 assists since the restart of the season, which is a very good return indeed. So guys, hopefully this video has helped you with your considerations for Game Week 36. Let me know what your transfers are going to be in the comments down below. Thank you guys for the support on the last 2 videos. They have been absolutely epic. I have been trying to up the production, so I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please hit that like button, subscribe and that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos go live. With that being said, I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.